as a white angel or a black devil, who has died and gone to heaven and seen white angels who look like a white sheet of paper, who has died and gone to hell and found a black devil who looks like a black sheet of paper and looks like you. We were told you are black like the devil, and we said, okay. We were told they are white like the angels, and we said, okay. We can create our own. We are our own entity. There are enough of us that we can successfully support these social medias to our benefit. For example, something else that I would like to see happen. We don't have satellites that belong to us in the skies of Africa. So even if we want to say we want to do something that is our own, we are still owned, because as long as we are still using Google satellite, they still control us. So I'm hoping next time we have another IT event, we can talk about those who can build African satellites that we own ourselves. That's when we are really talking about true ownership. This is the moment that Africa is calling for. Until we own everything in Africa, we will never be able to control our economies. That means we must everything to do with IT. The biggest and the brightest minds are right here. We are so capable. Brother Jote, I'm counting on you to find them. Bring them here to this platform. Let's have this conversation. Let's build the Africa that we want through true ownership. So today we are talking about IT and everything IT. Brother Jote, we must own our IT in Africa. And I'm counting on you to bring the children of Africa together. Let's do our thing. We're counting on those in manufacturing to come together and take over the manufacturing industry in Africa. We're counting on those in agriculture to come together. Let's build those commercial farms. Let's feed not only Africa, but we can feed the world. We got the expertise. We are counting on those in mining. Let's take over our mines. That's where we are losing most of the money. That's where the outside world is going to Africa to get rich through your natural resources that belong to you. We are counting on those in hospitality to move in and build those resorts. We want to be able to go and stay in resorts in Africa that we own. I'm talking about true ownership. Those in building of airports, those building railway lines. We want to build the railway lines. We want to build, so the engineers, we want to bring the engineers together. Let's begin to talk about real ownership of our Africa. That's what ADDI is about. That's what these webinars are about. So I am so pleased that we have young minds that are going to give birth to social Africa. And we have a responsibility to support them. We have a responsibility to support Dimples, because these are our own entities. Yes, let's be shareholders. And that's when we begin to demand that respect that has been taken away from us. We are not respected because we own nothing. We are not respected because we don't come together for the purposes of our sheer survival. Our strength, our respect lies in our unity. Let's get that clear. Let's get that clear. If we do not unite, we will never be respected. If we do not unite, we can never pool our financial resources together for our benefit, just like other races do. Living in the United States, I use that as an example. Everywhere you look, we are surrounded by examples of what can be accomplished through unity. But somehow, through the legacy of slavery and colonization, the obvious things others are doing to further their agendas, we are unable to unite so we can duplicate the same. It's not by surprise that the motels from New York City to Los Angeles are owned by the Patels. They come together. They pull their resources together. They believe in each other. They don't have to love each other. They don't even have to like each other. But at a certain higher level, they understand that they gotta hold their brother's hand, because if they do not hold each other's hands, they're all going to go down. Let's learn from those around us: the Chinese diaspora, the Indian diaspora, the Mexican Americans, the German Americans, the Irish, the Italian Americans. They come together for the purposes of their sheer survival. How long are we going to continue the self-hate? How long are we going to continue the mistrust of each other? How long are we going to allow Berlin Conference to continue to win? Poor education, poor healthcare, poor leadership, corruption, those are all issues above the ground. And we are so focused on those issues above the ground, and we never stop to think about why are those issues above the ground? What's happening in the root? What is the root causes of this tree giving us bad fruits in the name of poor leadership? What is causing this tree from under the ground that is causing problems above the root in the name of corruption? What is it that is going on in the root that is causing poor education, poor health care, poverty, disease, and starvation? We are constantly being thrown a shiny object, and we run after the shiny object while the real issues are in the opposite direction. Allow me to talk about the issues of the root of this ailing African tree of life. Those issues, they go back to the settlers when they first went to Africa, when they found the Garden of Eden with thriving African trees of life. Africans were never needing for anything. So they decided, let's start by working on their minds. These powerful, indestructible people, how can we effectively destroy them? So they made us believe that everything African was bad and everything European was better. They sent the missionaries who taught us about the white angels and the black devils. Prior to the settlers coming to Africa, we didn't know anything about color, the color white, the color black, but they taught us about the colors. A white piece of paper, a black piece of paper, and the many other colors. What I find quite interesting, that centuries later, a lie that was fed to us centuries ago about white angels, and the fact that people who don't look white, they said, never mind how we look. We are white like the angels that we just told you. Never mind how this black piece of paper looks. You are black, just like the devil. Now let's go to church. And you get on your knees and worship the white angel that looks like us. Subconsciously, we are worshiping and trying to be something that we can never be, while running away from what we have been told we represent. There is no such thing as a white angel or a black devil. Who has died and gone to heaven and seen white angels who look like a white sheet of paper? Who has died and gone to hell and found a black devil who looks like a black sheet of paper and looks like you? We were told you are black like the devil, and we said, okay. We were told they are white like the angels, and we said, okay. Centuries ago. And that lie, we have never challenged it. A lie that was told for the purposes of criminalizing blackness. A lie that was told for the purposes of making black people feel inferior. through generations. No black child is ever sat down by their parents to say, you are black and you're ugly. And yet when they do the experiments with little girls and little white girls and black girls and give them black and white dolls, black little girls under 5, they chose white dolls. Why? Because the black dolls were ugly. Every one of them. When asked, why did you choose a white doll? They said, because the black doll was ugly. Under 5 years of age, my brothers and sisters, they already knew that a black doll was ugly. A doll that looked like them was ugly. What chance do we have? It's almost as if we've undergone genetic mutation. Our children, this information is being passed to them through osmosis. No black mother has ever sat their children down and said, you are black and you're ugly. But the kids know it. This was level 1 of the destruction of the African. They messed with our mind from the core. You have to give it to them. Whoever masterminded that is a genius. No single black person has been left. No single black person missed this lesson, this idea that we are automatically inferior to other races. That was level 1 of the destruction of the African tree. Root cause number 1. Until our minds heal, until we begin to realize we're just as good as everybody else, nothing we do is going to change our circumstances, because we are always going to be looking to be validated by those we think are better than us. Amen. And may I present to you, my brothers and sisters, that we are the mothers and fathers of humanity, and that we belong on the tallest pedestal. We must never allow anyone to make us feel inferior. We're just as good as anybody else. And above all, if it were not for the black man and the black woman, particularly the black woman, there could not be any other races as we know them. The black woman, particularly the black woman, there could not be any other races as we know them. The black woman gave birth to the first human being, and as such, she belongs to be on the tallest pedestal. We don't need anybody to put us on a tall pedestal. We will put ourselves on the tall pedestal. Africa 101 was written precisely for the purposes of us waking up from our slumber of centuries. We don't have a choice, my brothers and sisters. We have got to wake up. The insanity that we have gone through for centuries must come to an end. Insanity